fire, having to be evacuated. Might be just seeing a fire up on a ridgeline or smelling the smoke in the air. A couple of years ago, I wouldn't have raised my hand with you. I'm from Georgia originally, and the worst disaster that we get there is usually a winter blizzard that will dump a quarter-inch of snow on the ground and shut everything down. It took me moving out here to really experience wildfire. And today, I want to tell you a little bit about the threat that we face and hopefully give you some new information or just remind you of some things that you may already know. My first experience with wildfire was in 2012. I was running an adventure race on the backside of Pikes Peak, and it was a hot summer day. It was blistering out there. I was absolutely spent, and I saw a Forest Service truck rolling down this dirt road towards me. I thought, what's going on? The driver pulls up, and he says, you got to get out of here. We're evacuating the race. There's a fire. And I kind of stood there with a dumb look on my face. And I watched him go the other direction. I thought to myself, why the heck wouldn't he take me with him? What is going on? Is this how these people respond to fire? So I thought, never mind. I ran as fast as I could. I made it back to Green Mountain Falls as I saw smoke on the horizon, and I started to hear sirens, and I got back to the springs. Over the next couple of days, I watched as convoys of fire trucks rolled into town to respond to the Waldo Canyon fire. And I listened to the reports as whole neighborhoods were lost in the blaze. This was one of the things that really encouraged me to start doing volunteer disaster response work. And over these last years, I've had a lot of experience with wildfire. Sometimes this was going out to a small community in Utah and helping a woman sift through the ashes of her house just to find a diamond engagement ring and return it to her so she could start to regain the semblance of the life that she had lost. Other times, it was going up to northern Colorado and helping a Children's Cancer Alliance camp cut down hundreds of burnt hazardous trees just so the kids could come back and begin their healing and play together. Even this last December, I went out to the Louisville fire outside of Boulder, and I helped deliver hot meals and drinks to the firefighters working on it. My understanding of fire has changed a lot over the last decade. And as a nation, our understanding of fire has also changed over the last 50 years or so. You go back in time, and the common thought was that we had to put out fires as quickly as possible, and we had to stop them before they even started. What this really negated was thousands of years of learning that the indigenous peoples across the US learned, where they used fire to help tend forests to start to build healthy ecosystems out there. And if you're like me, I often think of wildfires as this impenetrable wall of flame hurtling towards a town and a courageous line of firefighters pushing back against it. And sometimes that's the case. But more oftentimes than not, it's not the actual flames that take the house by touching them. Sometimes it's the heat coming off the fire that causes a structure to combust. Other times, it's a single ember floating through the air that comes down a vent that's exposed on a house and deviously ignites in attic space from within and takes the structure. Now, you're thinking, that probably doesn't affect me. I don't live up against the woods. But if you look out to that ridgeline out there, if you see the forest, sometimes that forest is what's going to be the thing that ignites your home. Because it's usually not one ember. It's thousands and thousands of embers. And they're not small. They're nuggets that float miles through the air sometimes. And they rain down on a town or a home. So what can we do about this? Hope is not lost. What I'd encourage all of you to do, whether you live in a house, you have a big yard, or you just have a condo or an apartment, go back home today and start looking at your home from the structure outward. And first, look, does your home have exposed vents on it? Does it have other openings in the house where that ember could travel in? And then as you start looking outwards further, the perimeter of your house, do you have grasses growing up outside of it? Do you have wood piles or furniture piled up where a flame could catch? And then as you go out a little bit further, what do the bushes, what do the trees look like at your home? Are they clumped together? Do those branches, are they low hanging close to the ground so that a creeping fire can travel up the trunk and go up to the canopies of the trees and then leap from canopy to canopy to canopy all the way back to your home catching on fire? There's plenty of information about this out there. We have Firewise communities all across the Springs, all across the Western US. We even have county resources that can help you do the work on your home. And I'd encourage you to do this because it may be your possessions, your home that you're saving, or it could be your neighbors. And if you protect your neighbor's home by defending yours, you can make your whole community a little bit more resilient. So hopefully today you learned something new. If not, maybe I reminded you of something that you already knew. And I hope that you guys will go and take some steps and become a safer community and safer people.